What's up, everyone? Today I am going to be working on this large field-grown Kishu Juniper. This tree came from Jim Gremel's growing operation, and unfortunately Jim is no longer growing, but there are a lot of great trees out there that he made, and this is one of them. So it was pretty much rough field-grown stock when I got it from him, and I've already done a little bit of shari work and branch selection and whatnot. And so today I'm going to go through and do kind of another step in terms of wood cleanup and, I don't know, just try to figure out which direction I'm going to take this. So you can kind of see that there's some big cuts here as well as some pieces of wood that have been stripped. So in the last session I worked on this wood, reducing basically big cuts that look like this to that. But I didn't reduce this one entirely because I wasn't sure how the lifelines went at the time. There was no missing bark on the tree during the first session that I worked on this. So I'm most likely going to reduce this more and concentrate on creating a sort of maybe 10 to 12 inch high tree. It's really tempting to go taller, but the taper from the low section here to about here is the most interesting, and then I can use this growth that's up here to start to form a crown. So I've got all these nice long flexible whips that have come out since I went ahead and cut off the majority of the large branches and did a little bit of shari work. I still need to do some selection and then some wiring of these branches in order to set further structure into place. I'm going to concentrate on this piece here for a little bit. So if I look at this, there's some growth that's right out here at the tip. I'm not going to keep that because I want to concentrate on getting things a little bit closer so there's more taper if I'm going to end up keeping this piece. Now this would be a really unusual branch if I end up keeping it, but sometimes really unusual is really interesting. Last session I worked on this area, but it's kind of not very clean, and I can tell now because of the carving that I did last time where a little bit better where the actively growing lifeline is. In other words, where wood is being put down. So I'm gonna get in here and kind of clean up the edge of this and see if I can make it look a little bit better. All right, and now moving up the tree a little bit into the next branch above the first one that I peeled. So that's the first one, and this is the branch that I'm going to be working on. Very similar situation. It has this really nice, flexible, strong shoot coming out right at the base, and a couple of other things. And then these guys that are right out here at the tip are too far away from the trunk for my liking. So I'm going to take these off. And then there's a couple of shoots that are just about halfway out, coming out of the back here. So I'm gonna see if I can keep those because I like the way that the movement of this branch and this piece of deadwood and some of the deadwood down here goes together. And so if I can use this lower piece as well as this piece right here, I think that's gonna give me an improvement to my aesthetics, at least in the branch taper section. So I'm going to reduce this stub just like I've done with these other ones. All right, so I've stayed away from the lifeline on the backside here because of this piece that I want to keep, but I'm gonna strip just this top part of the bark So right here you can see the area that I stripped in the previous session, and it's starting to roll over here. I actually have a little bit of trouble tracing that lifeline, but we'll see. I'm not sure which direction it's going. I think that's all the woodwork that I'm going to do for today. Now, there's this big section that I'm not planning on using, and I'm going to carve and reduce everything from here up eventually, but I'm leaving all of this on because I really want all of the branching that's up there to drive more wood production so that these sections are less round, and so that there is more of a rollover more quickly in areas where there's a junction of deadwood that I've created with the lifeline. And over time I will definitely make the lifeline more skinny. So the only thing I'm going to do left today is put a few pieces of wire on here to set start to set all of these branches into the form that I want to see them in. It's going to be a pretty cool, powerful little tree. Looking forward to getting it out of this giant container into something that's a little bit smaller, even if that's not a bonsai pot quite yet. But I will say that having it in this big container has definitely hastened the growth and development, and the rest of this year, maybe into next year, leaving all of the strong whips on the top hopefully is going to make the trunk have even more character than it does have right now. That does it for this time. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.